Hey Dreamers, Bryce here from Midnight Notion, singer-songwriter, musician, and a big fan of Metallica, but I have no idea what my favorite Metallica song is. Could it be the Unforgiven III? Let's use math to find out. Cue the intro.
So Ted, give it to me now!
For the best Metallica song! The Unforgiven III, track number 7, I think, off of Death Magnetic. We're cooking along, and it's the third in a trilogy of songs. I don't know, you might call that a little bit hokey, but we can't grade it based off of the title. We're going to be fair here, analytical. We're going to listen to it. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to talk anytime I hear something interesting, point it out. Maybe we'll learn something together. And then I'm going to grade it fairly using the following criteria: composition, memorability, emotional response, instrumentation, and lyrics. Each category is a 0 to 4 scale with a grand total of 20 possible points. We'll find out at the end of the video if this song has what it takes to get to my top 20 so far. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because if you don't, you're going to get lost at sea. And I don't know if we're ever going to find you. You're going to end up in some deserted island, and that's going to be scary, because then you're going to have to talk to a basketball or a volleyball or something, and it's just devastating is all I'm saying. So subscribe. It's not a threat. I'm just saying I don't write the rules. That's just how the universe works. Let's listen to the song. The debut of Metallica piano. Have we heard piano in a Metallica song yet? I don't know. High string. Second time through. Some horns. Now, someone tell me, I haven't read the credits in the record in a long time, but if I'm not mistaken, that sounds a lot like a MIDI trumpet or trombone. Is it trombone? I think it's a trombone. I can't really tell, but the instruments don't really sound real. There's sort of a fake instrument quality to them, which is kind of unfortunate, knowing how much money Metallica has. They could have easily brought in a live musician. Now, I'm not here to say that they are absolutely MIDI, but there's something about the mix, there's something about the way those instruments sound. They're just a little too pristine. For some reason, it doesn't, I don't know, maybe you could tell at home, but it's something feels MIDI to me. It doesn't feel like an actual player, but I could be wrong. Prove me wrong in the comments. Nice clean riff. Is that a ride cymbal? I think he's actually just playing on a cymbal, just really lightly tapping on one of his cymbals. Because again, he got rid of his ride cymbal after Saint Anger. So I'm just saying. Still got that low violin sweeping just below, kind of holding out that low end, filling out the sound, because with just the clean guitars and just the bass and the drums, it's fine, but it's nice to have that sweeping legato string in the background. Whether it's real or not, we'll find out later, I guess. They said the magic word. Somewhere in Dreamworld is available wherever you get your music online. to count that part because I think Lars's choice on the drums is very interesting. He starts using the toms on the 3 and 4 of the previous measure. So when he hits the snare, it for some reason feels like the beginning of his fill is too early or too late, but the guitars are matching it too. So when we come through, we'll do this again on the second verse. We'll analyze it a little bit closer, but I want you to listen how awkward it feels like. Is boo-doo boo-doo-ga-doo. It feels like ba-da-ba-da ka. So 1 and 2 and 3, and it feels like that snare hit is on the 3, but it's actually on the 1 because we're going 3 and 4 and 1 and the snare is hitting on the 1. And it's just an awkward pattern, but it's an interesting awkward. It's not a trippy awkward where you where am I? It's just an this is a different rhythm. Interesting. I like it. This song also has a similar structure to Unforgiven 1, where we have a really heavy verse and a light chorus, and then a really heavy verse and a light chorus. Very similar structure, but it doesn't feel as copy-pasted, in my opinion, as, say, what I was talking about with The Day That Never Comes. This still feels fresh and new, because if you'll remember, Unforgiven 1 was in A, or A minor, and Unforgiven 2, their guitars were a half step down. This is an E minor, and it's in standard tuning, so there's no way they don't three link up the same way in tuning, and in play style they're completely different. The first one had a very like sort of Western vibe to it. We had those little clacky finger thingies, and we had like, just that sort of horn in the background. 2 had a very modern sort of grungy vibe to it with a little bit of country twang on it. And then this one has a little bit more just Metallica feel to it. It doesn't really have any other, it's just hard rock, hard metal. So I appreciate that it's different enough.
How can I be lost
If you listen really close, you can hear those strings in the background.
got nowhere to go? Search for seas of gold. How come it's got so cold? How can I be lost
Building.
in remembrance I relive? And how can I blame you when it's me I can't forgive?
Again, we're changing it up. Instead, the first verse, we had that held out note, boom, 2, 3, 4, and he just cracks on the 4 on the snare, boom, pa, do 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 do. This time is boom, 2, cat doom goom. Now we have a fill involved here, so switching it up again. Watch for those pattern breaks; they're all over.
Days drift on inside a fog. It's thick and suffocating.
I do want to say that I think it's interesting that Lars didn't fall into his same old pattern, his boom boom ka, boom boom ka, boom boom ka, boom ba boom, where the fourth time he's like doubling it up and he's going twice, because the rhythm of the rhythm guitar lends itself really nicely to what he always does. Boo ba. It sounds like that's what he would normally do, but this one he's showing restraint. Good job, Lars.
Sinking life outside its tail, inside intoxicating. He's run aground.
Now we have like a lead in the background that I can't tell if it's the guitar or if it's more of the MIDI stuff. I think it's the guitar. He's got some sort of effect. It feels distant. I'm hitting the wrong note, but you can hear a different guitar added in as a new layer for the second verse only.
Like his life, water much too shallow. Slipping fast.
Listen to this pattern here. The drum fill that I was talking about. Really count it out. Find your 1, 2, 3, 4 and count along with me.
Down with the ship, fading in the shadows now. A castaway. They've all gone away. They've gone away.
See how that works? Because we have this halftime feel in the verse, and then we go into the straight time. Boo-doop, 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 boo-doop. And because all of the guitars are emphasizing the offbeats, but Lars is emphasizing the downbeats, it's really interesting. Boo book, boo book, boo boo. And then he does those fills and do 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 do. They feel like in a weird place to me, but in a cool way. Again, not bad, just interesting. I like it. Tom Phil.
How can I be lost if I've got nowhere to go? Search for seas of gold. How come it's got so
There it is. There it is. I told you. I knew it was coming. Boo, ka, boo, ka. He maybe did it the first chorus and I wasn't paying attention, but that's exactly what I was talking about. He always has that 3+1. We're talking about it over and over on this channel. 3+1. You do the same riff 3 times. You add a tag on the end. It's different on the end. I think that's funny.
How can I be lost in remembrance I relive?
Yep.
And how can I blame you when it's me I can't forgive?
Now this has to be one of the best build-ups in their entire discography. I would wager one of the best builds in like music history. Maybe that's a stretch, but like I really appreciate when a band can start from nothing, bring it all the way down to almost nothing, and build it up to something that has a solid payoff. And that's what we're looking for in a solid build-up, because you can build up and then like, oh, this next riff is meh, or oh, it's the chorus again, and we've already heard that before. But to build it to something that has a freaking amazing payoff, that is something that takes really, really, really awesome talent. Put in the comments below your favorite build-up of all time. I'm going to say that mine is actually from the band Weezer, Only in Dreams. Their song Only in Dreams, which also has the D word, Somewhere in Dreamworld, is available wherever you get your music online. It has like a 2-minute build-up that goes from absolutely nothing to one of the most climactic but simple drum fills and a guitar solo that just makes you feel like you climbed a mountain and now you're on the slide back down, and it's so much fun and so rewarding. This song is reminding me of that. I'm going to let this entire build all the way up to the solo play up. I'm not going to say a damn thing. Let's just listen to it, take it in, and amaze at how smoothly it transitions from James's scream into a guitar solo. It's almost like they're the same instrument. It's amazing. Let's do this. Ready? Go. Volume swell. Just like Weezer, actually.
Forgive me.
Chills.
Forgive me not. Forgive me.
Steady distortion build.
Forgive me not.
Strings.
Forgive me. Forgive me not. Forgive me. Forgive me. Why can't I forgive me?
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. How do you not love that build? Forgive me! What in the world? Oh, so incredible. I just got to take in this moment. I'm actually like kind of getting dizzy here because I'm swinging my arms. I fell over. I love that. How can you not love that? Forgive me! Oh, it just, I want to point out a couple of other things. You know what? We're going to listen to it again because it's incredible and it's worth listening to again. I want you to really listen to how those guitars build, because we have just the simple guitar, just a clean guitar. Then we have the volume swells. Then we start bringing in the distortion just gradually, and then they're playing out the notes, and then it goes into a chug, jug, 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 and then big drum fill. Let's rewind it and listen one more time.
I can't forgive.
Whoa, wait a second. I just found a mistake. Rewinding a little bit, you can hear a cymbal that was supposed to ring out, psh, and it just shh, and it cuts. It's like they faded it out. Listen.
When it's me, I can't forgive.
Right there, when it's me, I can't forgive, that downbeat goes away.
When it's me, I can't forgive.
It was edited out, and it sucks away. Interesting. Huh. Notice here, we're back to this riff. We've been playing the same riff throughout the entire solo, but now the difference is that the lead guitar is playing the high octave version of the same thing, and the drums have switched over to the crash cymbal, all right? So before we had it on the hi-hat, right? Just like it was in every other verse, but then now we're... And by playing it on the crash cymbal like this, it's kind of opening up the sound. It's making it feel larger. It's bigger. The crashes ring out, except when they get faded out and they get cut off accidentally. Whoopsie. But then if you have just the hi-hat, it's just kind of a... It's a lighter... Even if you hit it hard, it doesn't have the same depth or size or ring. It doesn't ring the same way. So when you're using the crash cymbals as a drummer, you're bringing things, making them more massive. And that really, really works for this change up, because when we had the solo, everybody's playing and the focus is Kirk. Just amazing solo. And then now that they're all playing the same thing, he's not standing out as much anymore. And for just one guitar to play the rhythm part and one lead to play a high octave, it's not super thick anymore. And so now to fill it in, we use those crash cymbals. Again, very excellent writing from Lars.
By the light of golden treasure, how could he know this new dawn's light would change his life forever? How can I be lost if I've got nowhere to go?
can hear the amps. The amps ring out for a little bit. There's a little bit of that. Wow. Oh man, that's a fun song. Let's see what kind of points this one's gonna get. Here we go. Whoosh. Composition. Now, I really like this composition. There aren't any time signature changes or tempo changes, but I've never said that those are things that have to be in every single song. I like them when they occur, but they have to be done tactfully, and this song doesn't really feel like it needs those things. Well, I mean, I guess you could argue that there are tempo changes because we have that soft little piano instrumental. We get the strings and the horns coming in, but the strings in the background, kind of the orchestration is throughout the song, and it's really nice. It adds an extra depth that they wouldn't have had they just played with their guitars. So it's really extra fabulous, if you will, having that there. So nice intro, piano. We don't hear piano very often in Metallica. That's new. We have the light verses, or the light main riffs and the light choruses, but the heavy verses, that's really cool. Yes, we fall into verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, very similar to every single other song, but the difference is in the wave of the song, right? To use a pun intended, I guess, the wave of the song. It starts slow and it builds up and it comes down. And then what we have, I don't know, Metallica doesn't have a whole lot of builds like this. That build before the solo is incredible. It's so incredible. Forgive me. And just going all the way up. That's really, really incredible. Remind me in the comments below, do they have any songs that build like that? I'm trying to remember. Like, they have song-long builds, right? Bleeding Me is slow and it gets heavier, but I'm not talking about slow and then getting heavier. I'm talking about starting small and crescendoing up to something massive. This is something unreal. In their whole catalog, I can't actually right now think of it. I'll think of it after I'm done recording, maybe, if there is one, but I can't think of one. And so that part alone makes this an excellent composition. Not once was I bored. Not once did I feel like any of these riffs felt out of place. The flow is there all the way through. I'm banging my head. I had to re-listen to it a second time. I'm loving it. I'm feeling good. Compositionally, it's a 4. Memorability. I think that this song has a lot of things to remember. We have the piano instrumental that stands out. Von Restorff effect. I still don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I've talked about it before. If you don't know what it is, look up the Von Restorff effect. It's a psychological tendency to recognize things that stand out, right? If you have a pattern of homogeneous things, everything looks the same, and you got one that's completely different, you're going to remember that one. That's what we have here. This whole record has been a really heavy, hard rock, and now we have this one clean, soft song. And even if you look at their entire catalog, this is the 95th song, and there's only a handful of ballads that start clean and have distortion and have this sort of feel to it. You've got One and Fade to Black, and just only a handful that actually do it this way. So it stands out. Memorable, yes. I think what they could really use is a hook in the chorus that really, really stands out. I think Forgive Me stands out. That's memorable, but I don't know that the chorus has a real good grab. I don't know why. I think it just needs that one extra little element. I can't really articulate why, but we just need that one memorable. It has so many memorable moments throughout, but we need a lyric that just really grabs us, that we can, remember that one in the chorus. That stop at the end of the chorus where we all go ba ba da ba da ba da, and we just shout out whatever the line is. It's missing that element. Otherwise, super memorable. Unforgiven 3, memorability, gets a 3. Emotional response. I saw this live with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra. They played it without the band. It was just the orchestra, and it was spectacular. I was I felt honored that they were playing a song from Death Magnetic that wasn't The Day That Never Comes or Cyanide. Something different. What? Are you kidding me? And when they got done playing Unforgiven 3, I shouted out, "Play the other two!" And the person in front of me laughed. I thought that was funny. It was a nice little moment, but I genuinely mean that. I would like to hear the trilogy. But anyway, from an emotional response perspective, I really love this song. Like I said, I had to go back and listen to it twice for that build, because that build just unleashes something, right? It sets you up. You kind of cozy in, you get in your seat, you strap the seat belt on, and you just take that roller coaster ride. Forgive me, and it just awesome, so cool. Emotional response. I can't say enough about this song. It's a 4. Instrumentation, I think they're all doing well. Everybody is playing their hearts out. We get some extra instruments for a change. It's not just the 2 guitars, 1 bass, and drums. We also get the addition of piano and strings and some horns. Whether or not it's MIDI, I don't really care. It doesn't have to be a real instrument to be pleasing to the ears. So I just think it's really well done. I also want to point out the instrument of James's voice, because man, is he ever letting it, like, forgive me. I can't stop talking about that moment, but that scream is just so, like, the unleashing of, like, why, right? Yelling out into the universe, why? I can empathize with it. I think it's amazing. I think that solo, even Kirk's solo, so good. One of the best solos he's written since probably the Black Album. It just is really, really cool. All the riffs in here are super catchy. I just love it. What else can I say? Instrumentally, good job. It's a 4. Lyrics. Now, here's something interesting to me. I think that the lyrics are fine. What's the story about? It's about somebody who set sail to sea. He's looking for gold, right? He's set sail to sea, but got pulled off course by the light of golden treasure or buried treasure or whatever. I've already forgotten the line. But what I think is interesting is that I think it's about more than that, right? You could look at it just surface level, pun intended, surface level, and think, oh yeah, it's just somebody out to sea and that's just the story. But I think sea is a metaphor for life, going out on your own, experiencing the world, and you're in search for something. You're maybe not sure what you're looking for, maybe the best Metallica song, but all of a sudden you see this shining gold, right? It could be money, it could be sex, drugs, rock and roll, right? It could be some sort of dangerous vice that pulls you away from the path that you were going on. And then you find that maybe there's something internal. Maybe you were the problem all along, but maybe you weren't. Maybe everybody else cast you aside, and maybe they sent you away and they said you're not welcome here. And just that conflict of the battling, the struggle to know whether the grave is calling you or you're calling the grave, and just grappling with mortality. Who am I? Where am I? Where am I going? What am I doing? What should I do here? I struggle with that all the time. I'm a musician. I've played shows for 2 people before, and it friggin' sucks, man. It sucks to be up there playing your heart out and to know that nobody showed up. Man, it hurts. It actually, like, is a knife deep into the heart, and a stab and a turn and a twist. It really sucks. But then you get the show where there's 100 people there, and it's the most glorious feeling in the world. And you start thinking, like, what is this problem? Is it my fault that nobody's coming here? Do they not want to come because I did something wrong? Or are they just busy? Because that's also an option, right? So finding your fans, finding your home, finding whatever you're wanting to do in your life can be very, very difficult for some people, especially if you don't get born into a family with a lot of money. That is a genuine thing. You're more likely to find success if you have the money to pay for it. I'm a broke person. It broke the bank just to get this blue screen behind me. So I'm just saying, life can be really troublesome, and I think that this song speaks to it in a metaphor that stands on its own as a story of someone out to sea that's cast out, but it also stands alone, or it stands on its own. I don't know how to say words. It also stands on its own as a metaphor for the struggles of life. I like these lyrics a lot. I like that the verse right before the final chorus is a callback to the first verse, but it's inverted. I don't know. I just don't have any problems with this song. For me, lyrically, it's a 4. And so Unforgiven 3 gets a grand total of 19 points. Let's find out where it lands on the board. 6th place. It is now a 4-way tie between Puppets, Of Wolf and Man, Bleeding Me, and Unforgiven 3. Funny that Unforgiven 3 and Bleeding Me are in the same category, but I wouldn't have it anyway. And technically speaking, it's only 1 score away from Unforgiven 1, so that's also kind of ironic there. We have a great top 10 list. We've got Death Magnetic all over here. We just said goodbye to another Death Magnetic song. End of the Line has now reached the end of the line, is in 21st place, and The God That Failed is on the chopping block. So now that's my score. Tell me what your score is in the comments below using my methods. What score would you give this song? And be honest about it. Do the math. Don't just say 20 because I like it. That's emotional response, man. Don't use your emotions. Use the categories. Math is interesting, and it might actually help you find a new score that you didn't realize that you had. Like me, I didn't realize this top 20 would look like this. And then check out my band. Midnight Notion is available all over the internet. You can get it on Spotify. You can stream it right here on YouTube. I'd appreciate a purchase on iTunes or a review on iTunes. Maybe you could get the word out and I can have more than 5 people at my next show. That'd be exceptional. And of course, smash that subscribe button, because tomorrow we're all going to get intimate with someone who maybe is a little bit dodgy. So we're going to have to watch out for that guy. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching.